Alright guys, so here today we're in the GCI Group head office. You might be wondering, why am I talking over myself on the screen? Basically, we filmed this awesome video and the camera or the microphone wasn't plugged into the right part of the camera. So we've lost all the audio, but we're still gonna use the footage as best we can. So stick through it. It's a really cool setup, this whole car, but obviously the audio of my mouth from that one there is going to be completely out, so don't even bother looking at it. But this build here, it's a Ford Ranger. It's a 1262mm canopy on an 1800 long tray. So basically we have so much stuff inside this canopy with still 540mm of tray on the back. So we have most of the stuff which we fit into our major builds, like the big Rams we do, but it's put into a Ranger on a really short canopy. And yeah, this video sort of shows you the ins and outs of it. All right, so as I open up the canopy, you can see what's inside. We've got the full EnerDrive Tourer package. That's a lot of stuff, we'll go through it shortly. Massive drawer as well, so it's over 1 meter long and it's on 900 long slides. So total volume's around 250 litres in that one drawer. It's so big, we have to run a stiffener down the middle of it to make sure that when you do fully load that drawer up, it's not going to sort of bow down and then sort of have metal on metal interference and make that horrendous scraping noise and scratch your powder coat as you pull it out. So putting the drawer back, yeah, so it's one drawer that goes to full length. So if I put a fair bit of weight on there, you can see the aluminium does bow down a little bit, but there is a stiffener all the way along the bottom. So you could still sort of get a full person in there without sort of having that metal on metal interference because there's enough gap between the top of the drawer and the bottom of the drawer housing. So moving on to the EnerDrive package, as I said, it's a full Tourer package. So it's everything that goes in the big American builds on a slightly shorter board. But then it's fit into the domestic ute. So the one thing it doesn't fit on the standard board is the AC charger, so that's mounted on the center divider. But yeah, we've got the Cymarine, we've got Anderson in, Anderson out, 4 switches up the top there. All those switches there, they're custom engraved, so you can put whatever you want on them. So we've run fridge, a pie oven, internal and external lights. So as you have it, you have fridge illuminated when the fridge is off, you hit the fridge and then you got a picture of the fridge when it's on. So that's sort of common throughout all the switches in this build. So we'll leave the external lights on, I'll show you why shortly. So DC charger, inverter, 2 kilowatt with the transfer function with inbuilt RCD, and then you have the AC charger on the back wall. In the middle you have all the breakers and the fuses, and then in the middle we have an extra 3 switches for our external lights. So we have right, rear and left external floodlights. So behind the drawer we have the battery. So we have to get access to that battery in case we run it flat. So as it's an EnerDrive BTEC 200 amp hour lithium, if you run that battery completely flat, you have to get access to the top of the battery to hit the reset button to basically jump start the computer, which is built into the battery. So with that little stepped shelf at the back there, it's 6 bolts. You can take that out. It's just a 4mm Allen key, and then you can take that panel out and then get full access to the top of your battery. You can't service the battery from that point. If you do need to get the battery out, it's either the drawer out or the fridge out, but the fridge is a bit easier to take out, so that's what we'd recommend to do. Hanging from the roof is some rooftop storage. So this is just to maximize the sort of storage capacity of the driver's side of this canopy. This one here is designed specifically for a Darchie table. So it's a bit shorter than sort of the blow mold tables you get from Bunnings or Supercheap, but it is much taller. So it's a tri-fold, so double fold, so it folds out twice and it's 1.8 overall. But yeah, it's much higher than the standard blow molds. Moving to the back of the canopy, we can see here the step between the canopy and the tray. So it's 540mm of exposed tray. To maximize the usability, we do short drop down sides. So that way you can still use that as a ute, that space as a ute, but then yeah, you have a full canopy as well. So as all drop sides, they need 2 pivot points on the drop rail, on the tie down rails. Obviously we can access one, but the center one there, which I'm pointing to, you cannot get to. So what we do, it's a 3D printed housing, and that 3D plastic, it's got carbon, well, it's a carbon reinforced plastic. So it's so strong, it is going to realistically outlast more or less anything on the tray. It's so strong that sort of the support material within that the printing process, you can't rip it by hand. You literally got to cut it, and even then it's quite hard to do so. So that way we can still pick up on 2 points in the rail, and it's a real smooth drop motion. So pulling down the first one and the second one, you must push the first one up so it doesn't gouge the toolbox. If you just push down, it's going to scratch your toolbox. You can see there, that's the machining which bolts onto the back of the canopy, which is the locking mechanism for the drop side. So this is the full rear of the canopy. Running through it, we've got a gas box, we'll run through that shortly. A 33, but can go up to a 35 spare wheel. And then the jerry can is pushed right up against that machining there. So we can't go all the way out to the very end of the canopy because that jerry can design, obviously, well, the caliber of the jerry can has to fit in it, so we can't have a little cutout. It is really mounted close to the tyre, so we've had to remove one lock. So as I pulled on it there, you can see there's no flex on it, so we can run with that single lock on the right-hand side without a problem. So the gas box. It is a second gas solution that we have. So with the American cars, we can put it in the front. With the domestic cars, the only other option is to put it on the rear of the canopy. So that's a 4 kilo gas box, fully self-contained, 100% road legal. It's a super, real neat solution. So yeah, you run your flexi line from your gas bottle to your reg, and then from the bottom of the reg goes through a test point, and then from there it's 3/8 copper slag line up into a sort of a 1/2 inch quick release system. So the box is, it's called gas tight, so it's basically airtight, so nothing can get in or out. So let's turn that gas bottle on, close it up, and so it's good to go when we pull the kitchen out in a minute. It is lockable, so it's the same key as the jerry can holder, so you can lock it up for peace of mind. So on the passenger side, obviously we've got our full fridge infill with GPOs and USB outlets. We have the remote inverter switch, so that there turns on all the AC power for the whole car. The USB is down the bottom, and then next to that we've got a 130 litre Bushman fridge. So we make a new stainless front for it, so it sort of flows with the whole canopy design, but it's also because we relocate the handle to on the right hand side, so we have to remove the ugly holes that the original leaves behind. Up the top there's a travel buddy. So at the back there you have it's a step up transformer, so it basically runs at 13.5 volt no matter what's happening in your lithium battery, so get the max performance out of that travel buddy. It also has an insulated front, which is an add-on extra. Top of the kitchen we have some storage drawers. We've got the sink in there, let's pull that out for later on, and then below is the kitchen. So everything here, besides the little storage box at the back, is stainless steel. So you can pull the kitchen out, and that's how it looks when it's sort of all packed up for storage. Unlock the drop mechanism and slide it down. So it drops about 80 mil. It's not a huge amount, but it is a useful drop, and that's why we do it. So you fold the sink part out, and then the windshield up as well. So that's more or less set up, ready to hook the gas line up. So yeah, you can cook as it is there, but you do have the windshields here, so you can unfold them and then clip them in, and they do sort of lock into that rubber stopper there, so that if there is super windy, you can push quite hard. You can see the wobble in the slides there, but once there's a bit of weight on there as well, it's a lot less dramatic than what that was. So lift up the storage compartment, grab the gas line out, double quick release, that one goes into the car, that one goes into the cooker. So take your gas cap off the gas box and plug in the 1/2 inch bayonet style quick release hose, and then that one there just clips straight up underneath into the gas cooker. And that is set up, ready to go. All right, so in the doors, we have a few features we should run through as well. Lights, central locking, and sort of double skins and stiffeners. So running through the lights, you've got bright white, you've got the Mozzie amber. There is a master dimmer on the electrical panel, so you can control the brightness of them, but at sort of door level, it's just the light color you can change. So you can go bright white, warm light, or amber light. Next to that is the central locking. So everything's hooked up to the OE remote. Any whale tail lock, so you've got the 2 canopy doors and the 2 toolboxes, they all lock off the one forward button. So you hit that ignition button, everything locks up. So powder coat colors. Everything black is a textura black, which is a scratch resistant black, which also doesn't hold the dust. The white is also a powder coat. It's a pearl white, which isn't an exact match to the Ford Ranger white, but it is so close, you're not gonna tell the difference. So yeah, it's a powder coat, so it's more hard wearing than a two-pack paint. In the headboards, we have the filler caps. So we have fuel on this side, water on the other, with sort of a return baffle, which I'm talking about there, so there can't be any splashback after the tank gets full. Drop latches for the full length sideboard, so you take your canopy off, you can then run the full length sideboards, and then a water outlet below. So that there is hooked up to the, I think it's a 36 litre tank. It has a dust cap for going along as normal driving, and then it has the quick release, I guess, plastic bayonet system that clips into it. So you can get full access to your water, and then no one can steal your water without that plastic cap. There is an ARB air compressor fitted. That was done by ARB, not us. But it does say it can be mounted up behind there, and that's your outlet, so it's a neat little place. This here is really cool. I've got to overcome the vacuum, so I really have to lean on that toolbox for it to open up, and then once all the air, there's enough force to overcome the vacuum, it does pull out. So yeah, nothing's watertight, but it is as water resistant as you're going to get in a toolbox. So everything's box in a box. That seal there that I pointed to before, that's what seals are on the outer box. It's the same seal that we use for the canopy and all toolboxes. Moving to the back of the canopy, we've got all our standard features we run in all GCI Traytec conversions. So we've got the reverse sensors, so they're Ford sensors, the OE sensors, which we remount in plastic housings. We've got the reverse camera that has a really good field of view as well. So you get your reverse lines that turn around as you're sort of reversing. You also get your tow ball and everything behind you, so it's a nice place to mount it. Spare wheel underneath, and the second one mounted back of the canopy. Tie-down rails included as per all GCI Traytec products. It's surprising sort of how much you can fit in this sort of 1260 canopy, as well as what's on the back. All right guys, so that is a wrap of the full walk around. If you've made it this far, thanks for sticking through. I can't believe how hard it's been to do voiceover. We had no audio whatsoever, so I had to watch the video and basically talk through it again. There's so much more coming out here at GCI Traytec, and we're going to do videos on every single build, which is really cool, unique, or has a new feature. So make sure you subscribe. This build shows that you can do so much in a short canopy, in a long tray, on a domestic car. You don't need a massive American truck to have a really cool setup, which not many people have. So real points of difference. The gas bottle's really unique. Fully road legal as well, which is really cool. But yeah, not a single inch wasted in this build. There's so much in there. And yeah, looking forward to sort of seeing photos from the customer sending it through when he uses it for the next sort of 10, 15 years.